Well, what's going on, everybody? Welcome back to the channel and my training log. So this week had a little setback, which we'll get to in just a minute. But first, I guess let's go ahead and dive in. Well, Monday, February 12th called for our easy run. And so I went out. It was a little slushy because we did have some snow over the weekend again. And I went out in the Hoka Clifton 9 GTX, which was perfect because I was splashing snow all over the place. But while I was out running, I actually saw the NORAD plane, or Air Force One, because the president was not in the plane, so it's not called Air Force One. But basically, they were doing some training. It was just flying around. It would go down and touch and go on the runway, I believe, at Peterson, and then it would come back up, circle around through the valley, and just kept doing that over and over. So it's pretty cool to see that. But overall, the run was almost 7 miles. A little over an hour, just keeping it very easy paced on that snowy, slushy mess. And then late that night, after the kids were in bed, I headed to the gym for about 50 minutes at the gym. Good session, doing some kettlebell swings and all sorts of many different exercises, and felt pretty good. Well, Tuesday, February 13th called for some speed work, and because it was so slushy and still snowy outside, I did do these on the treadmill because they were supposed to be flat. And there's really nowhere around here that's flat and didn't have slush on it. So treadmill was perfect. Wore the Hoka Rocket X2s, and for this I had to warm up for about 30 minutes. And then I did 4 7-minute intervals with a 2-minute recovery in between each one. So not very long on the recovery, but felt fine. It was flat. I think I did each interval about a 6:58, 6:59 pace. So felt pretty good during the run, and got it done. 10 miles, an hour and 20 minutes in total. Overall felt like a pretty decent run. However, that night I was not feeling good. I was feeling quite a bit of pain, to be honest, and discomfort. If you remember back probably towards the end of December, I was in the gym doing an exercise. I was doing Copenhagen side planks, where one leg is elevated and the other leg is below, and you lift up that lower leg. And I had my left leg elevated. While I was doing that, I felt like a pool in the groin area, basically, and kind of just didn't feel great, but I was able to finish the workout. It was fine. And then I've been running through, the last, 2 months, basically. Had some discomfort in that area, some soreness at times. When I would cough, it would be a little painful while I was out on the run, or sneezing sometimes would be painful down there. And then something after this Tuesday run was just, I don't know if it was the 4 7-minute intervals, but I was in a lot of pain that night. Very, very uncomfortable. I was limping a good bit as well. So I made the decision to pretty much not run the rest of the week. So I took the entire week off from running. Well, not the entire week, but I took Wednesday, Thursday, Friday, Saturday, now today, Sunday, 5 days off. I didn't go to the gym. I didn't do anything but rest. However, I did go to the doctor on Thursday afternoon. I was able to get in, go see a doctor. She did the whole, turning cough test, basically to see if I was worried I might have a hernia. But was inconclusive, so they sent me for an ultrasound, had that done, and waiting to get those results back, so I won't know till this following week. But anyway, basically, if you take a look at this picture on the screen here, where I'm feeling the pain is basically, it's hard to describe because it's kind of radiating in that area, but I'm thinking either the adductor longus, the gracilis, or on the rear of the leg. If you see here, it is the adductor magnus, possibly, but it's all right up where it meets the pelvis, basically, in that area, and it radiates through there, and it's pretty uncomfortable at times. So far, yesterday, Saturday, and today, Sunday, it's felt pretty good. I didn't run, just resting, and I did ask the doctor when I was in on Thursday if I could still run, and she said that, yes, as long as it was easy pace, don't do any hard efforts, no intervals, probably run flat for a little while, try that. So I'm gonna try that this coming week, do some easy paced running just to see how it feels. And if I have any soreness or pain afterwards the next morning, then I need to just pretty much not run, at least until I get my results back and figure out what's going on. So I don't know. We'll see what it is, but it's definitely frustrating. Training was going very well. I had a lot of really good weeks back to back of just consistent good stuff. So setback, it happens. Frustrated, but you know what? We'll just deal with it and do the best that we can. This week I did also get the Salomon Aero Glide 2. These are a road running shoe, high stack, high drop, 10mm drop shoe. So the first ones I liked pretty well. These, appear to be very similar, maybe a little bit different upper. But yeah, I'll hopefully give those a test this coming week. We'll see. Well, I had some questions this week as well. I was going to answer those. This one here, I'll probably answer the meat of this, or I'll go over the meat of this hopefully next week if I'm able to actually start this training plan. It is a new training plan. It's how to train for 100K like Hayden Hawks. It's through Vert.Run, designed by Hayden. So I'm excited to do that. I mean, he just won the Black Canyon 100K. But he asked kind of on a macro level of my training plan, what am I hoping to get out of it? So I'll break that down hopefully next week. But the bottom question there, or the B question, was how do I determine my easy effort? For me, basically, I really try to keep my heart rate in that 140 range, the lower 140s, hopefully, during an easy run. And I don't mean just the average, but the whole run. If it gets up to 145, 147, 148, it's not the end of the world. I don't train specifically by heart rate. I go by feel, by RPE, the runner's perceived effort. So as long as I'm feeling okay, that's fine. But generally my heart rates are in that kind of 140, 144 range, sometimes lower on those easy efforts. I had another question about running in snow or ice, if I could use yak tracks or some kind of traction. Yes, absolutely. I do it all the time when I'm up in the mountains. Or if I know that there's going to be ice, I will wear one of those. But in this situation, the video that she asked this question in was when I fell on that ice, which by the way, my elbow is still sore. That ice was completely hidden by snow. I had no clue there was ice there. Just kind of luck of the draw, I guess. But yeah, absolutely. If there's ice, I could throw on some exo spikes, micro spikes, and be fine. And then Dillweed McCoy asked what my daily nutrition looks like. And so basically for me, I am 90%, 95% plant-based. My diet is primarily plant-based. I do eat some salmon, occasionally some wild-caught Alaskan salmon, not farm-raised. That's maybe once a month, something like that maybe. I do also have honey, but for breakfast, typically for me, it's either going to be maybe a bagel and some peanut butter, almond butter, or even like some plant-based cream cheese. Sometimes it will also be, a bagel with some just egg, which is a egg replacer, and then a plant-based sausage, like an egg sandwich. Essentially, I'll have that. Maybe some oatmeal, granola, that kind of thing. Pretty typical breakfast. And of course, coffee. I always start off my morning with probably 2 Americanos. I'm a big coffee guy, so I love those. And then sometime in the late morning, I'll probably have a snack while I'm working, maybe some peanut butter pretzels, maybe a Lenny and Larry's plant-based cookie as well, something like that. And for lunch, it's usually maybe some leftovers from what we had for dinner the night before. Again, probably a plant-based meal 99% of the time. Some pasta and a plant-based sausage. I'll cut that up and have that real quick. Sometimes just a rice packet, those 90-second rice packets with a plant-based sausage, and then throw some Mayploy sauce on there, which is awesome. That kind of thing, pretty typical plant-based lunches. And then sometime in the afternoon, again, I'll have a snack, maybe a protein shake, a plant-based protein shake, something like that pea protein or the gnarly meal replacement protein that is vegan, that kind of thing. And then dinner, again, plant-based typically, we'll have chicken Parmesan, but it's not chicken, it's a plant-based chicken product. We'll have burritos, which is going to be, black beans, that kind of thing. Or my wife makes a really good walnut-based meat substitute that we'll use. It's pretty good. We'll do rice bowls. We call them grain bowls with, tofu, vegetables, that kind of thing. Maybe some edamame, that kind of stuff. So pretty much I try, if I'm really being focused on it intentionally, now that I'm working out more in the gym, I'm trying to get, a minimum of about 100 grams of protein, hopefully maybe a little bit more than that. So those protein shakes are a big part of that as well. But really just be kind of intentional about it. I drink water all throughout the day. I don't really drink anything other than that and coffee. I do have some, maybe some whiskey or scotch. I'll have like a glass or 2 maybe per week when I'm running. Tops, maybe just 1, maybe none. That's about it. But yeah, that's my typical day. Well, that's it for today. Not much running. Like I said, hopefully I will get my results back from the doctor Tuesday, Wednesday time frame. Hopefully figure out if it's a hernia. And if not, then we'll have to figure out what it might be. It might just be a muscle strain of one of those muscles, ligaments, tendons down in that area. Kind of hoping that's what it is, because that might be a little bit easier to recover from and get back to running. So we'll see. Hopefully I'm able to run tomorrow on Monday. I have another hour easy scheduled, and I'm going to redo this week's training plan. I'm going to start it again next week without that speed work in there. won't be doing any speed work for a while, and we'll just see. So anyway, thank you guys for watching. I appreciate you. If you haven't already, take a look at last week's episode on your screen. Appreciate you all, and I'll see you in the next one.